Raven, the daughter of a human and a demon, is a powerful Teen Titans member. Our childhood experiences sow the roots for our lives and set the base for us to grow and evolve into the individuals we are today. These experiences are not always good, and some tragic childhood events can change the entire trajectory of one's life. Introducing Raven, a young girl who's been plagued by demonic powers since her birth. As she gets older, Raven sets out on a mission to uncover the real potential of her talents, eventually becoming a member of the new Teen Titans, a squad of young vigilantes. Created by Marv, Wolfman, and Pérez, Raven is a powerful character who could be regarded as one of DC's toughest superheroes. Let us dive into her origins. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Come on, Donnie. Come back home.
The first comic book appearance explored. Raven first appeared in the Superman and Green Lantern comics number 26, where the new Teen Titans were introduced in a flash forward. When Robin arrives at the scene of an emergency terror situation at Star Labs, he finds himself in the vicinity of a new building called Titan Towers, set in the distant future. Besides Wonder Girl and Beast Boy, he also notices the presence of unknown superheroes and is introduced to the new Teen Titans that include Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg. Just then, a breach at Star Labs calls for the Teen Titans' help as an unidentified creature breaks into the labs. Robin accompanies the young Teen Titans and finds that the creature is an alien from another dimension who seems to be turning the lab's oxygen into high levels of toxic methane. As the Titans follow the escaping creature, they find it hovering in the air and brainstorm ways to eliminate it. Raven decides to switch to her astral form to investigate the shapeless blob, and her dark astral form dives headfirst into the creature. They battle midair, and the creature eventually ends up attacking Raven. Her human form slumps to the ground as she informs them that the beast took away her soul. Robin assures her that he will save her soul one way or another when he finds his reality starting to crumble again. He gets transported back and forth between his present day, where he is de-escalating a terrorist situation, and the flash-forwarded future, where he fights alongside the new Titans. As Robin makes sense of his surroundings, he once again finds himself with the Teen Titans, who are trying to send the creature back to his dimension through Star Labs. Starfire suggests that they decrease the oxygen supplies in the lab, as it will make it difficult for the creature to fight back. As the creature weakens, the Teen Titans work together to contain it as well as restore Raven to her original form at the same time. They probe the creature towards the computer and manage to contain him within the device. As they close the rift between the two dimensions, Robin finds himself back in his present-day reality. The terrorist situation has been handled, and a confused Robin wonders if he was experiencing a nightmare. Raven lurks in the shadows as she explains that Robin just experienced a glimpse into the future. As the story ends, Raven walks away while pondering about nightmares in reality. The strange origin of Raven. Raven's life has been full of struggles, right from the moment of her birth. She was born to a human named Angela Roth, Arella, who was raped and impregnated by a demon, Lord Trigon. Terrified that her child would inherit demon powers from her father, Arella migrated to the Azeroth dimension, where she raised Raven. Fear of the monks in Azeroth and the Azar herself taught Raven to suppress her demonic powers, and she received all her initial training from them. However, a few years later, they learned that Trigon had plans to attack Azeroth. Raven was determined to stop him and sought the help of the Justice League, who refused to help her. With no one to ask for a helping hand, Raven created her own team of new Teen Titans. The group defeated Trigon, and he was sent off to an interdimensional prison. However, Raven still felt the influence of Trigon on her and often found herself losing her grip on her powers as Trigon interfered with them. The Demon Lord soon escaped from the prison and traveled across dimensions searching for Raven. Soon after, the Azar goddess who looked after Raven passed away, leaving Raven without any support. In Raven's weakened state, Trigon manages to take control over her being and use her as a means to destroy the Azeroth. The Titans try their best to contain Raven and Trigon, but the scale of damage is too large, and they eventually have no option but to kill Raven. Once Raven was dead, the souls of the Azeroth possessed her dead body and used her as a medium to reach Trigon, who still had a hold over her. The Azeroth kills Trigon, but Raven manages to rise from her ashes and is reborn. Her new life of freedom from Trigon doesn't last long, as she is captured by the followers of Brother Blood, a supervillain who runs a cult that worships Trigon. Followers intend to resurrect Brother Blood, but the Titans intervene and save Raven as well as put an end to the cult's activities. After having been through so much trouble, the Raven is possessed by her own demonic conscience and takes an evil form. She discovers she has the ability to implant Trigon's seeds into other creatures and embarks on a journey to create an army of Trigon's evil children. However, she mistakenly implants a good Raven seed into Starfire instead of the demonic bad Raven seed. Starfire then escapes the planet to stay out of Raven's radar, while the other Titans come together to put an end to Raven's schemes. Raven pursues Starfire, but the Titans corner her and she is defeated once again. Though Raven was destroyed, her good seed from Starfire's implant was then transferred to a new spirit body. In her ritual form, Raven then travels across the dimensions when she gets into trouble with Brother Blood yet again. He gives her a human form in the body of a teenager and intends to marry her to fulfill a dark prophecy that will lead to the end of the world. However, this time, Raven is rescued by the new Teen Titans. In her new form, Raven joins the group of reformed Titans and even starts attending a high school under the alias Rachel Ross. As part of the new Teen Titans, Raven went on many adventures across the timelines. She once traveled to a dystopian future wherein she fought along with the future versions of Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, among other superheroes. When the Hell's Gates were broken open, she came across Brother Blood once again and also suffered an attack from the supervillain known as Kestrel. During this period, Raven was seeing Beast Boy, who was another one of the new Teen Titans. However, she ended their relationship once she began to lose her powers as a direct result of the Infinite Crisis. Not wanting to worry the other Titans, she uses her falling out with Beast Boy as a reason to leave the group. Over the next year, Raven traveled across the Earth from Beijing to Moscow and the United States searching for an object stolen from Titan's Tower. Eventually, she finds a computer disk hidden in a book that contains the spirit of her old acquaintance Jericho. Raven frees his soul from within the disk and resurrects him. Robin and Wonder Girl then approach Raven for help in reviving more superheroes when they all get attacked by the Titans East. Raven is held captive along with other Teen Titans such as Cyborg and even tortured by Enigma and Duella. However, she breaks free after offering Duella a place among the new Teen Titans. With some help from the Teen Titans, especially Nightwing, Beast Boy, and the new Flash, Raven manages to escape the Duella and Cyborg. Later on, the new Teen Titans face a new threat when a resurrected Trigon sends his demonic creatures to attack Raven. She learned that Trigon had more children besides her when a trio of her half-siblings attacked the new Teen Titans. This trio uses the strongest emotions felt in their surroundings, such as insecurity and anger, and then weaponizes these emotions to attack their opponents. As the new Teen Titans fight off these half-demons, Raven uses her powers to convince her half-brothers to leave them and go after Trigon instead. Over the next few years, Raven questions the evil within her and is tempted to join the demonic side. Demonic powers even influence her into joining forces with her half-brothers, but she eventually stays with the new Teen Titans at the end. Raven as portrayed in the Titans TV series. Raven, aka Rachel Roth, also had an extensive storyline in the Titans TV series where she was portrayed by Tegan Croft. In this version, Rachel was adopted by a lady named Melissa Roth in order to keep her away from the clutches of Trigon. As she grew up, Rachel led a seemingly normal life with Melissa until a stranger hunted her down one day. The stranger demands to know the truth behind Rachel's heritage and ends up shooting Melissa. Determined to find the truth that cost Melissa her life, Rachel seeks out the help of Detective Dick Grayson. She navigates her way in the world. Rachel struggles with her powers and tries to control them with some help from Dick Grayson and his acquaintances, who together form the Titans. She also runs into trouble with the Nuclear Family, a brainwashed group that tries to make Rachel one of their own, but is saved by a Titan named Corey Anders. Corey and Rachel soon become friends, and they also befriend Gar Logan along the way. As they continue their adventures, Rachel gets in trouble with Dr. Calder, who wishes to conduct experimental procedures to test her strength. At this point, Rachel feels the full force of her powers as she throws him across the room amid his attempt to contain her. Rachel is then rescued from the doctor's lab by Dick Grayson, and they escape along with the other Titans, Gar and Corey. The group decides to lay low and stay together, and even reveal their powers and abilities to each other. They keep coming across the Nuclear Family, but manage to fight them off once again. Grayson also tracks down Dr. Adamson, who only wishes to talk to Rachel, and reveals that Rachel's birth mother, Angela Azaroth, is still alive and resides in an asylum. Along with her group, Rachel decides decides to visit her mother, but they run into trouble with Dr. Adamson's men, who imprison Gar, Grayson, and Corey. Meanwhile, Adamson holds Rachel captive and asks her to summon her demon father. She uses her powers to attack him and then single-handedly rescues her friends and mother from the asylum. As they return to her mother's home, Corey and Rachel get into a fight that ends with Corey leaving the place along with Dick Grayson and his childhood friend Donna Troy. Meanwhile, Gar begins to feel uneasy, and Rachel soon realizes that he is on the verge of dying. As her powers fall short, Rachel summons Trigon on Earth and begs him to save Gar's life. Trigon complies, but his presence unleashes chaos as he possesses the minds of the Titans, who now begin to attack Gar themselves. Somehow, Rachel wields enough power to attack her father and also snap the Titans out of their current state. As she fights off her father, he rips her heart out and transforms it into a jewel that latches onto her forehead. The Titans return to their base at Titan's Tower, where they begin their training in earnest. Rachel starts to lose control over her powers, causing purple and black puffs of energy to be manifested around her while the gem on her forehead lights up. She believes that her father is causing these incidents and even explains that her last clash with her father resulted in this gem on her forehead, as he gave her some of his dark energy. Rachel worries about her future and is concerned that the demonic sides of her powers will get the better of her. Though Corey and the other Titans try to console Rachel, she still fails to contain her powers and almost kills a Titan called Rose. Rachel continues to work alongside the Titans in their missions and even uses her powers to heal the Titans injured in combat. Though she sometimes loses control, Rachel primarily uses her powers for good and even saves a young girl, Danny, from her abusive father. She also has strange visions at times and develops the ability to foresee events in the future. Once, she also reveals that she has been having visions about Dick Grayson, who seems to be facing imprisonment and requires their help. With her growing powers, she also attempts to revive Donna, who seems to have died in a mission while trying to save civilians. She even relocates to Donna's resting place, Themyscira, the home island of the Amazon warriors. Here she uses all of her abilities to resurrect Donna. We can see her character development as she continues to do good for others despite her half-demonic origins. Throughout the show's 3 seasons, Rachel only gets stronger as she learns to control her powers, and we see immense character development in her arc. Of course, her story is far from over, and an upcoming season also hints at the return of Trigon in Raven's life. Why is Raven so powerful? Raven has unmatched powers and is one of the strongest among the new Teen Titans. Her ability to astral project makes her a pretty formidable opponent to fight, as she can use her consciousness to weaken her opponents or even render them unconscious. Raven can also travel in her astral form, known as her soul self, wherein she takes the form of a dark raven to go against her opponents. Along with astral projection, she could also travel across dimensions using teleportation. She even has the ability to perform telekinesis and move around things with her mind. She mainly uses this power to rescue individuals from life-threatening situations and emergencies. As a half-demon, Raven has superhuman strength and is a tough opponent in any fight. Additionally, she is also trained in martial arts, giving her an added advantage in physical combat. Along with physical strength, Raven also has the mental ability of empathy, and she can read, absorb, or even steal emotions from others. She uses these psionic abilities for good by absorbing the pain of injured individuals, and at the same time also as a weapon against her enemies by stealing their thoughts or affecting their subconscious. Raven could also use telepathy to alter others' dreams, erase their memories, or even make her opponents fall asleep. After her rebirth, Raven had newer powers that enabled her to fly and channel her energy into powerful bolts that hit objects and her opponents. She can also foresee certain events in the future and perform magical spells to bend reality at her will. Raven can warp reality to the extent that she can create or even destroy entire cities. Though she can revert these alterations right away, her powers are strong enough to destroy the heavens or the whole universe. She can also cast illusions to trick her opponents and even reconstruct molecules and structures. Her abilities and powers all together make her a mighty being, and defeating her is no easy feat. Conclusion. To wrap it up, Raven has managed to rise above many life or death situations and amassed a significant number of powers and abilities. This Teen Titan is one heck of a fighter, and it is safe to say that she is one of the most powerful superheroes in the mainstream DC universe. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.